Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 18, episode 5, and today we've got a big top 4 clash as we play at home to Manchester United, the only side that have beaten us in the Premier League this season. Of course, that's our only defeat, as Arsenal have started to slip up now. We obviously beat them and inflicted their first defeat of the season in the last episode, and since then it's all gone horribly wrong for them. 2 more defeats leaving them 2 points behind us. But of course, if we don't get a result in this one, or we are held to a draw, a comfortable win will see Arsenal back to the top of the league, and then we go away to Liverpool in midweek, as well as playing Spurs away in the middle of February. So it is a bit of a tricky spell for us, some tough away games in the Premier League, and of course the resumption of our European campaign. We're desperate to win the Champions League, and we are going to have to prioritise that. But as long as we're top of the league, we won't complain too much. Of course, winning multiple Premier League titles would be a magnificent achievement, but it's easier said than done, and Arsenal have still got a magical side. We haven't done any business in January yet. I'm waiting to see if Arsenal have. Let's go and have a look to see what they've done. 1 big signing, 2 in fact now. Armando Bergkamp from Ajax for 28 million, a centre half he is, and Bukieri from Dortmund, who we played against earlier this year, a right back for 45 million. We have bought in one player, but it's a very young one, and he's not actually joined the club just yet. 16-year-old Valon Jakupi from Hearts. Of course, we saw there in the last 16 of the Champions League. A number 10 for 120,000. The young Kosovan looks like a brilliant player, so we're just going to give him a chance to develop, and he'll probably only join a month before the end of this series. So if at the end any of you want to take on this save, you'll obviously get to benefit from him joining the club. But a massive thank you first to everyone that's following along for another season. I really do appreciate it and hope you're still enjoying the series. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel on Saturday for first news of our FM20 plans. We'll react to some of the features that have been announced already, and there'll also be a couple of votes in there so you can shape some of the content on the channel next year. But if we go and have a look at the schedule to see what's been happening since the last episode, plenty of news, most of it good, and we remain unbeaten for the 3rd month in a row. We haven't lost a game since the Carabao Cup 4th round in October, and of course that means we've been on a brilliant unbeaten run, and since the last episode we drew a couple of away games, but aside from that we've been winning every one. So obviously you were with me for the brilliant comeback win against Arsenal. We followed that up with a comfortable 2-0 win against West Brom, and Singy and Keita with the first half goals, then a draw away to Manchester City where we really didn't play well, but Alex Andrade again with a goal to get us back on level terms in the second half. Then a 4-0 win finished off the calendar year. Omar Sylla, McDonnell and Hull with goals against Fulham. The centre-half scoring goals from set pieces late on, as Fulham left men forward and gambled on getting one back. Then away to Brighton on New Year's Day, a little bit of a disappointment for us. We didn't even dominate the game in truth, but got out of there with a point, and in the end that's turned out to be a good result, as we made our way back to the summit of the league. The FA Cup run started and that's gone pretty well so far. Sheffield United away, we won 4-0. Lauren Brunet with a brace and then Kante and Sylla. Second half goals across the board there. Then a 3-0 win at home to Newcastle. Sylla, Keita and Gracia with the goals. He's been in for Andrade yet again, and he is finally scoring a few goals as well. And then a 3-1 win away at Watford. Omar, Raphael and McDonnell. It looked a bit shaky after an hour, as Watford had got back onto level terms, but thankfully Raphael and McDonnell with late goals made sure we got the 3 points and returned to the top. Then a 2-0 win last week against Stoke in the FA Cup. We rested everyone and Gracia and Brunet scored. Brunet's goal was an absolute screamer, and it leads us into the United game in good form. We're obviously at home and the match is on TV. A Tuesday night kick-off, but everyone's pretty rested. The FA Cup tie, I don't know what United did, but as you saw we changed all 11 players. Kozil and Sousa are doubtful for this one. United have got a couple out as well. And if we go to the dynamic screen, the usual January stuff's happened. It's Boubacar Sylla and Daniel Kozil that are unhappy, both because we wouldn't let them move to China, where they'd be able to earn far bigger wages. Sylla's first choice, so he's not going anywhere. Kozil we were potentially happy to sell. We tried to sign a replacement replacement for him, but it was an average player and an English one as well. Lee Camp from Watford, a backup left winger, 22 years of age and under 21 international for his country, but he's on 100 grand a week and they wanted 70 million, and he certainly isn't worth that unless we get that same money back for Kozul. So that's the position we're in at the moment. I wouldn't promise that won't change in the next couple of days, but it doesn't look likely at this point. Of course Boubacar Sylla was their first choice, but Kozul's the only one we'd be prepared to sell. But with all of that out the way and a relatively calm January by our standards, normally we've got 6 or 7 on there, we're going to go and crack into this game today and hope we can get a win at home to United. Who did Arsenal have? We didn't see there. They're at home to 5th place Aston Villa. Hopefully it'll be as entertaining as the game they had in real life last weekend, but obviously we'd rather that Arsenal don't come out on top. Villa are right up in 5th place. They've had an excellent season, so hopefully their momentum will get them a result as we face Brendan Rodgers' United side. Let's go and have a look at our lineup. We're of course back to full strength for this one. Madi Keita has now displaced Kante in central midfield, and Bakanes is making his first appearance back from injury, but aside from that is the 11 you'd expect, with just Boubacar Sylla slightly unhappy. Stojanovic is in goal as the sweeper keeper, Wagner and Cura the fullbacks, and Singy and McDonald in the middle with Bakanes in holding midfield, Keita and Omar in the centre with Sylla and Yaladian on the wings, and Alex Andrade up front on his own, not scoring quite as freely as he was. He has been out injured for a little while and has missed a few games, and he's often not been completely match sharp, so as a result he's not scored quite so many. Ray Probert makes his way on the bench due to both wingers being out injured, and Laurent Brunet's not a natural replacement, so we needed to have someone who could play out wide. But let's go and get into this game with our usual positive mentality. Bakanes not quite match fit, but we'll give him at least an hour and hope he can influence us to victory. It's a 4-2-3-1 for United and a bit of a strange lineup for them. Our former loan prospect Michael Duncan's on the right wing, and he now can play out there, but he's not very natural for it. More of a target man type, but he's going to be out on the right, and he has scored a few goals already this year. Jansen's the skipper and star player up front for them, caused us so many problems in the past, and look who's in goal is Shane Mason-Smith, who seems to have cemented his place as number 1 now. Let's go and tell the lads to prove a point just as Stuart Jelling recommends. Another man that could be signing a new deal soon. The assistant manager continues to improve. He's now 62, so he will see out the rest of this save, but if any of you take on the series afterwards, he may well be retiring pretty soon after. It's Bastin at right back as United play from the kick-off, but the highlight ends very quickly, and Arsenal ahead in 2 minutes in the other game. Mark Jones bomb with a goal in that one. Omar with a corner to the back post, drops down on the goal line. How has it not found its way in? It's hacked to Hine for a corner eventually, and somehow United are still level. It's Omar in and Mason-Smith punches. This one dealt with far more comfortably, and United have got a 3-on-3 momentarily, though we have managed to get some men back now. Damgard on the left with the cross into the box, McDonald away but it's back out to him, Cura blocks and manages to get there first, and the highlight ends with a score still 0-0. It's Omar delivering into the back post. Purby gets it away momentarily, but it finds McDonald and now Andrade. Don't know why that's become my favourite word today. I'll try not to use it again. It's McDonald as the ball comes back to him, a good clearance from United, and we're back with an Andrade free kick, which goes high and wide and is pretty aimless. It's Omar with a free kick on the right. Constant set pieces for us early on. McDonald gets it back out to him again, as we aren't creating anything from the initial set piece. Back out to Omar for a third time on the right. He cuts inside to Bakanes. Now Keita who shoots from distance. Brilliant save Mason-Smith. The advantage of having played with him before, he seemed to know what side he was going, and in the end it's a really good save by the keeper, as Nsingi's follow-up header straight into his arms. Mason-Smith looks like being the hero again, but with a quarter of an hour gone, we've been completely dominant here. It's Andrade with a free kick on the edge of the box. Good block by Jansen in the wall. Andrade picks it up again on the left wing, and he goes back to Luca Wagner. The highlight ends and it's into the box from a corner. Purby just over for United. Their first chance of the match, but they can't find the target, and with a quarter of the game gone, it's still 0-0. Shane Mason-Smith with a long kick downfield. Relentless highlights, we've not had any real break yet. Bakanes gets it from Nsingi's clearance, and now Omar can charge on the counter. Good switch of play out to Yaladian on the right. right. He's running at the fullback and beats him, tries to shoot rather selfishly though, and he's blocked by the defender and cleared for a throw-in. We're going to be back with a free kick for Cura though. He finds Baccanes in our own half, and he gets it up to Omar and now Wagner, up to the byline on the left-hand side, into Cater at the edge of the box, second attempt hits the post, and the third and fourth are by Yaladian, one into the arms of the keeper, he spills it out to him again, and Yaladian already on the floor just hacks it into the net, a bit like Harry Kane's finish in real life last weekend, but not quite as much skill intended. 5 minutes to the break and we lead 1-0, and we're now back with Omar in the centre circle. He gets it wide to the left-hand side, challenged by Enrique before he passes it though. Cooper gets it wide to Vergara, the left-back, and he brings it forward into midfield. Over halfway and through to Janssen, and Singi loses out in a challenge, but a brilliant block on the second attempt, recovered with all his pace and strength there, and in the end prevented a certain goal. Fantastic work from the centre half. Cooper delivers into the box, Vergara unmarked, and then Purby, and Panda's got an empty net to put it into, and Singi just did a brilliant bit of work to cause the corner, and then didn't defend it well enough. He's led to the equaliser for United. Just shows at this level what a moment of lost concentration can do. Arsenal are winning 3-0 in their game, and as a result they're going back to the top as it stands. We need to find a winner from somewhere, so let's go and talk to the lads and see if we can inspire it. We're going to tell them to prove a point again. It's Stuart Jelling's favourite team talk. Hadn't used it for a few games, but he seems to be back on it now. Andrade with a kick-off for Torquay, and Baccanes back to McDonnell. Here's Omar coming over halfway. Can we create something early in the second half? As Silla switches it to Yaladian, he tries to nod it down, but Purby clears away. Katie gets it back out to Cura though, and it's back to Yaladian again. His delivery's blocked for a third time. We cannot get the right delivery into the box. United hack it away for a throw-in, and then Singi looking pretty nervous now, as is Silla, who's just picked up a yellow on the left, and Andrade up front's had a poor game as well. Yaladian tries to cross again, blocked by Cura and headed away. Omar's shot from the edge is blocked, though I think Mason Smith had it covered. 5 minutes gone in the second half, we're still on top in this match, but Janssen shoots from 30 yards, and Stojanovic picks it up comfortably. All of their chances have pretty much come from set pieces, and we have defended them largely well. Just one individual mistake from Nsingi, and that's all it takes at the top of the league. Omar on the edge of the box to Yaladian, the through ball's just about intercepted, and now Michael Duncan can counter on the right. What a sucker punch it'd be if he scored. Into Rafael Henrique, brilliant effort of Stojanovic, but he does well to hold it, and it's not either side of him, so he's pretty comfortable in the end. An hour gone and it's still 1-1, and we'll make a couple of changes in a moment. It's a throw on the right for Nsingi, down the line for Cura who flicks it on. Omar picks it up and finds Andrade. Can he do anything special with it? The shot's blocked and it goes as far as Cura. He finds Cater on the right. Cura's challenged and now United can counter. Damgard coming over halfway, and the midfielders are surging forward here as well. Janssen on the edge with a shot. Just over the bar, it had beaten Stojanovic, but fortunately it beat the woodwork too. It's into the box from Silla, headed away by Nsingi. So it was Omar who took the corner. Silla's picking it up on a rebound here, starting again on the left wing. He finds Wagner, who's overlapping, in towards Panda, who clears it away. Cooper brings it down outside the box, and Enrique can charge forward with it. He finds Cooper again. United under no real pressure here, just bring it out pretty comfortably, and they find Michael Duncan. Brilliant through ball to Janssen, who scores, and after all our dominance in this game we're behind. Michael Duncan with a brilliant pass, and Janssen gets in behind again. We're going to go and make 3 changes. Silla's been poor, so he's going to come off. No idea who'll replace him yet. Andrade replaced by Glacier, and we're also going to take off Nsingi. Torre hold on for him, and I think we might take off Wagner as well, you know. He's really struggled on that side, but I don't want to leave Silla on for the 90. It doesn't look like I've got a choice though, so Wagner's replaced by Moraes, and hopefully we can find a response from somewhere, and Silla will do at least something special. We're going to drop the fullbacks to support duties, I think, because they both had really poor games in this one. I know it seems a defensive change at this point, but we at least need to keep the back door shut if we want to have a chance of getting into it. It's Omar out wide to the sub left back Moraes. He delivers towards Yaladian. Brilliant header who guided it towards the far post, but it just beat Mason Smith, but it also just beat the post. 15 to go, we're going to go all out attack, and we're going to tell the lads that we want to demand more. Hopefully if we ask them to show some passion, they'll really throw caution to the wind, but United have been the better side in this second half, and we can't argue with a score scoreline now. It's McDonnell on halfway to Omar. He goes for the through ball. It's a terrible one though. Cooper's clearance isn't great either though. Gracia brings it down, perseveres to win the challenge, but it's shot straight at Mason Smith, who comfortably holds it in a United goal. Arsenal still leading 3-0, and now Villa have had a red card, and Janssen has a free kick from the edge. The keeper had dived down to his right, the wall blocked the free kick, and then Cooper just had an empty net to put it into. This has been an absolute disastrous second half. At half time it was 1-1 and not looking too bad, but we've relinquished top spot in the Premier League, and Arsenal are back in control of the title race. The next game's no easier as we go away to Liverpool, and then we start our Champions League campaign, possibly with our lowest form of the season. We're really missing the left wing substitutes. Sousa or Kozul could have made a difference here, but at full time United have won 3-1, and we completely surrendered in the second half, allowing United to complete the double over us. Stuart Jelling tells the lads they were disappointed. They're all motivated, but it means nothing now. They've got to respond on the actual match day, but unfortunately they didn't on this occasion, and Arsenal are back to the top of the league. Let's go and see what the media have said about it. David Montano, our lone goalkeeper, he's got out injured for 5 months with a broken leg. Scottish football and the 3G pitches seem to be causing him some trouble. We lose top spot and lose the first game in ages. We'll go and deal with a press conference off camera, but the headline news is that we're no longer top, and Manchester United have done the double over us. They're not close rivals based on their form this season, but they seem to have our number when we play directly. We need to go and look at the schedule to see what's coming up. Of course Liverpool away is going to be tough, as is Villa at home, and then Tottenham and Chelsea are other 2 games in February. That month could make or break our season, and you can even include the first 2 months of March in that, to be honest. The 5th round of the FA Cup, we've drawn Manchester City at home, and then Celtic at home in the second leg of the Champions League as we bid to reach the quarter-final. Thankfully we've got a 10-day break after the Liverpool game, so we can chuck in a friendly if we lose again, but fingers crossed we can get back to winning ways and at least stay in touch with Arsenal at the top. If we go to the competition screen, it is just 1 point of course, and we are in the other 2 cup competitions, the Champions League still being our priority, but of course we'd like to win the title as well. But in terms of our episodes, we'll be back in early March, either for the FA Cup 5th round against City, or for the second leg of the Champions League game. I guess it depends on the result of the first leg. Hopefully the tie will be over at that point. Fingers crossed that'll be in our favour as well. The last thing we want is Celtic winning by 3 or 4. But if you did enjoy this episode and seeing our long unbeaten run come to an end, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course we like to be reminded of our limitations at some points, and United are certainly very good at doing that. So hopefully we'll bounce back in these 3 competitions and go on a good run in the next 7 tricky games. Let me know in the comments if you think we need to do any urgent January work. Of course we've got a couple of days off to do it now, and we'll be back on Sunday with those early games in March as we try to progress in 2 cup competitions. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this Torquay United story, every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30. We'll be back on Sunday with the next episode, but in the meantime we'll have FM20 plans. Keep your eyes peeled at 4:30 on Saturday for our first news about FM20. As we mentioned at the start, we'll react to some of the features, outline our plans and schedule for FM20, and of course give a couple of votes as well to allow you to shape some of the content on the channel. In addition, our Cricket 19 career continues. That's every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. We'll continue on that schedule till the release of FM20, where we'll still have 2 episodes a week from that point on. Then finally our Snooker 19 career continues every Friday at 4:30. We're coming towards the end of our final event of the series. It's the big one, the season-ending Snooker World Championships, as we hope to finish in glory by winning snooker's biggest prize. We'll have action from every round on our road to the final, which hopefully we'll reach in a couple of weeks' time. So come and see how we get on in that one, or if we face late disappointment in the series. But a massive thanks for everyone who continues to follow the series and our Snooker and Cricket 19 content. I really do appreciate the support for the channel, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we try to stay in the hunt for the treble.